Good morning. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the January 31st, 2019 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. I want to talk to you about 2 Chronicles chapter 16. This is the story of Asa, King Asa. Now, if you read in chapters 14 and 16, you will learn that Asa ruled for over 40 years. He was the fifth king of the Davidic dynasty. He ruled in Judea, the southern kingdom, and he started out very, very well. He was described as being wholeheartedly devoted to God. That word was used, wholeheartedly devoted to God. That's a very interesting word. It's used several places in the Bible. For example, when Solomon gave his great prayer over the temple, where he was dedicating the temple, he asked God to give the people that kind of a devotion. Just a completely undivided, wholehearted devotion to him. Of course, he himself proved later in his life to let his wives turn him away, and indeed the very term was used about him, that he was no longer wholeheartedly, but rather had a divided heart toward God. But Asa started out very well. As a matter of fact, he commanded that all of Judea return to a worship of the Lord. He pulled down any pagan idols that had been placed throughout his kingdom. In fact, he didn't even spare his own family. His grandmother was accused of and was obviously guilty of pagan worship, and she was exiled. So he took this very, very seriously. He ruled very well. As a matter of fact, there was earlier in his reign, there was a terrible threat to the kingdom. A foreign power was on their border with much stronger military force. And we're told that he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord delivered the kingdom. But something happened to him around the 35th year of his reign. He stopped trusting wholeheartedly in the Lord. It started with another military threat. He had a neighbor that was giving him a lot of trouble, and he literally went into the treasury of the temple. These would have been wealth, riches that had primarily been given by the people as sacrifices. And he took some of that gold and silver and gave it to a pagan king in return for his promise to help him defeat this other king that was hounding him. And he did. And the pagan king followed through on the agreement and did help with that. However, the Lord sent a prophet to him to say, you didn't even ask God. You didn't even ask God for help. You didn't ask God for a solution. You just went on your own way. And because you have trusted man and not God, there would be war for the rest of his time. He would not know any more peace. Well, you would think the man would learn, but no. We're told in chapter 16 that in the 39th year of his reign, Asa developed a foot condition, a very painful foot condition. And we're told he did not inquire of the Lord and ask God for help, but rather relied solely on doctors. And then we're told that 2 years later he died, apparently with no relief whatsoever for his physical ailment. Now, that's very telling. You know, not only did the fear of danger to his kingdom and to his people not move him to call on the Lord, but agonizing pain, physical pain in his own body, did not cause him to call upon the Lord. That's bold, man. I tell you, anybody that's ever been in agony can tell you You know, I know a lot of people that wouldn't consider themselves very religious, but you put the screws to them, so to speak, physically with regard to pain, and they're crying out for a God that they may have forgotten for a long time. But now they sure hope he is around and is powerful because they need him. But this guy did not, even after he had been chided and punished for his failure to have an undivided heart. You know, this is the problem with people. We hedge our bets. And God does not like that. And you know what? God is a lot like us, too, in that. Think about it. Do you want your spouse to have somebody on the side and think, well, you know, in case this doesn't work out, I want to have me my second choice here? Do you want to have your best friend who is thinking, you know, I better have me my backup in case you go bad, in case you're not, you know, you don't turn out to be all that I want you to be? Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be, you know, maybe. You want to be the person that is the object of devotion, right? The object of faithfulness. And God is like that too. Now it's interesting that even though he did not end well, Asa did not end well, when he died, we are told that the people buried him and praised him for having been wholeheartedly devoted to the Lord at one time. So it is good to know that in the evaluation of the Lord, he is fair, and he will allow the good that you have done to be seen and to be recognized. But it is a serious thing to hedge your bets and not be wholeheartedly devoted to God. And the best people, look at Asa, look at Solomon, have had this trouble. Do we have it as well? I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great day.